Social elegance is emotional intelligence. Procrastination, the fear of failure, all that actually ties into your level of social elegance and emotional intelligence. A lot of people who work in more logical careers, let's say STEM, you have a harder time with dealing with people. You have a harder time with emotions. You don't understand why people do the things they do and why they don't. You always have a difficult time having friendships. You had a difficult time connecting with people. And maybe you just thought this was a part of your personality, but that isn't true. You just never learned the skills. How do you expect someone to do calculus without understanding arithmetics? It's not possible. You don't understand somebody's behavior because you were never taught. You don't understand somebody's reaction because you're thinking in the context of the familiar coping mechanisms and reactions that you observed in your childhood. You don't understand why you avoid things or why you move towards a certain direction, as in, why did you choose your line of work over something else? You don't think of those questions because it is what it is. But think of it this way. Did you choose your line of work because you felt more comfortable with something that felt logical, that had a linear explanation, than having to deal with any career that has to do with dealing with people? It just felt like it made more sense. It felt easier, so you went that direction. I have spoken to so many women in STEM who struggle in relationships, and we observe this in friendships, we observe this in their family relationship, and let's say, okay, well, that's toxic, so a lot of people say that's a dysfunctional family, so there's not much I can do about it. But then they struggle in friendship, they struggle in intimate relationship, in areas they actually have a choice. They struggle with colleagues, in leadership. Typically in leadership, they have a hard time delegating, they have a hard time managing their subordinates. And if that person has children, parenting is extremely difficult, because all of these areas and everything that we deem as areas of life that will make us happy and fulfilled, to experience harmony, peace, all the things that you want, to feel significant, to have connection, to feel good about yourself, they all require emotional intelligence. The fact is that you've been avoiding because it's messy. It's not easy to understand for you. When I'm talking about human emotions, it's much easier for you to look at a formula and figure out the answers. You change a variable here, you should change the answer. There's a method to that feels very logical, controllable as well. But when human relationships, you don't understand the rules. The truth is that human relationships are all about emotions, human emotions. And it does have a logic. They're just set of rules that you don't yet understand. But until you understand the set of rules, you can't play the game. You can't dominate. You can't understand it enough that you can lead people. You can't understand enough to make good choices in leadership, in intimacy, choosing a partner, in friendships, how to respond to somebody, even with your own children. When you don't learn by modeling, by experiencing and learning through your life circumstances and situations that you're facing, you cannot develop emotional intelligence. Where you are right now and the problems you have right now is the exact textbook that you need to practice this. The problems you have with your colleagues, with your family, with your career, with your life purpose, with your intimate partner, with some narcissist that you are dealing with. These are problems where you need to lean into and learn from how to navigate this maturely, instead of seeing your personal development as going to India to some ashram or to Bali, or having to leave your current life to remove the trigger and to be spiritual. That doesn't work, but that's what a lot of people think self-development is all about. Or to go exercise and pretend like the problems don't exist. These are ways that people cope. This is coping. This is not development. Development is looking at what problems are you facing right now? What's hurting you right now? What would you like to change? And detangling that one by one. That's where the real development is. And it doesn't matter what problem you're facing, whatever it is, as you fix that, you fix all areas of your life. Whatever presenting problem is bothering you the most, you focus on that and it will help you fix all areas of your life. It's much like a pile of tangled necklaces. When you start detangling, it doesn't matter where you start. It doesn't matter which necklace you pick. As you detangle the whole pile of the clump of necklace. Human problems are like that. Everything you experience, they're symptomatic. As you start resolving one thing, it starts to resolve another thing. And this is where you may not think that problems are not related, but they're all related. Another analogy I like to use is that problems that you're facing are like mushrooms. Let's say that you go for a walk and you see a mushroom here, and then you see a mushroom way down there. You think that those mushrooms are okay, they're just mushrooms, but no. Underneath the ground, you know that they're all interconnected by their roots. That's how your issues are. Human experiences are messy. It's like a clump of tangled necklaces. It's like the complexities of how mushroom builds a network. It's messy. And when you try to apply the same logic that you use in your line of work, it doesn't work. The same logic that works in a math problem, it doesn't work. You have to start training your emotional intelligence and your social elegance, and that will change everything for you. It will change your career problems, not knowing what direction to go, dealing with a difficult person, having difficulty picking the wrong partner, having difficulty with friendships, having difficulty with parenting. All of these things actually really boil down to the solution being developing emotional intelligence, knowing how to be socially elegant, which is an essential pathway of the good girl to the bad bitch journey, because every bad bitch is socially elegant. She's high in emotional intelligence. She is excellent with people, human psychology, and motivation. If you love this video, check out my new book, Bad Bitch on Top, Conquer Your Inner Good Girl Identity to Dominate Your Life and Career. When you finish the book, there's a link to join our private community, which is an amazing resource for you to do the kind of self-development that actually helps you move the needle. See you in the community. Thank you so much for watching. It's Julia Cha, and see you in our next video.